rumors continue to circulate again and again. 2023, and here we are, still talking about Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. I'm sort of excited for this. Like, this is something that I would really love for it to happen, for it to flourish. But I'm also skeptical a little bit. What about you?
I don't know why. But this time I actually feel like we're actually getting some news in regards to a Metal Gear Solid remake, just because of the whole like Silent Hill thing with Konami being like, we're giving you the green light. So that means that Konami might actually play nice with the biggest title they have. If we do get a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, what does a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake actually look like?
I would love to see it get the Resident Evil 4 treatment, right? I think that's what every remake should kind of strive to be at this point. And so enhancing the parts that made that game so special when it comes to survival instincts of feeding Snake, of healing Snake, those things have to be still brought into play, because I think those were really great parts of the game. But improve on those things just a bit more. I want them to stay at its core what made that game so special.
I'm afraid that they might be like fresh coat of paint, same game, that's it. I think they actually do need to take care of this game and give it the proper treatment. What I can kind of see happening is if we look at the original Metal Gear Solid 1 and we see what Twin Snakes did for Metal Gear Solid 1 on the GameCube. It basically took the PS2 graphics from Sons of Liberty and translated all of those things over into Metal Gear Solid 1 to give it a more modern feel, which is whenever I think of the game, right, when I think of Metal Gear Solid 1, I think of Twin Snakes now.
And then as far as quality of life stuff, right, I think if I remember correctly, going back to Metal Gear Solid 3, if you wanted to heal, if you wanted to eat, if you wanted to do anything like that, it would all be in this menu system, right?
Right.
You had to press start and you had to like kind of do all that stuff. Take that away and kind of make it seamless, right? So that way you're not like jumbling through all these menus and trying to get through all that stuff. Oh, I completely forgot the camouflage system, right? Like they can
do that
completely. I mean, they did, right? Metal Gear Solid 5 really made that. I think Metal Gear Solid 5 revolutionized the camouflage system from Metal Gear Solid 3. Am I right?
Yeah, I think Metal Gear Solid 4 had like active camo that you could like put in. I remember they had some form of that.
Yeah.
Right. I think there was like 64 or something like that camouflage in Snake Eater, something crazy like that. So the possibilities are endless with the camo now. Yeah,
I think mix a little bit of 4 and 5 and you have a banger camouflage system right there, you know what I mean? And then on top of 5's open worlds, open vast areas, I can definitely see them improving Metal Gear Solid 3's open areas and kind of incorporating what 5 did. There's a lot that they can do, and obviously with the improvement, the hardware improvement that we have today, like they can do so much things. It depends on the developer that's working on it. And Virtuous, I'm not too familiar with what Virtuous has done in the past. So can they handle a game like this, and can they improve on what made Metal Gear Solid 3 so special, right? We talk about Metal Gear Solid 3 as a remake. These are just rumors, even though it's been concrete for quite some time now. But what if they're not making a remake? What if they're making a sequel to Metal Gear Solid 5? Can you see Konami working on that and actually like expanding on the story and the lore of Metal Gear Solid?
I'll be honest with you, and this is just going to be me flat out saying, I don't think Metal Gear really exists without Kojima. It is his mind that gives us the Metal Gear story. You can't really replicate what is in that brain of his, right? Because the amount, it's like freaking Nomura for Kingdom Hearts. You can't freaking replicate what that guy's thinking about and all the different types of things. So for me, I think someone else works on Snake or on a Metal Gear game, there's gonna be something missing there. I really truly think there might be something missing. So I'm not saying I'm not hopeful that it won't be good, but I think Kojima is Metal Gear. I think they are just the same thing.
Agree. I mean, I think everyone will agree with you, because Konami would be wise, right? They would be smart to just stick with the remake and outsourcing it to third-party studios, right? You have Bluepoint, you have Virtuous, who we're kind of talking about right now. Whoever else may be working on this, who knows? This would help kind of improve on what made the game so special, right? And not really touch the story and not really touch the vision or the legacy that Kojima led, right? For Metal Gear Solid. Because if they made Metal Gear Solid 6, like you said, Rob, it's just without his vision, without his knowledge and expertise, it's just not gonna happen, right? Kojima's like uniqueness and his craft is what made the Metal Gear Solid series, and without that, I just can't see it improving or getting any better. So they have like two options. They have completely reboot the series and make a completely different game with just the Metal Gear Solid name in it, which I think has its own risks, right? It's very risky to do that because it has to be on par with what Metal Gear Solid series has done, or if not, it has to be better, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that route should be taken. So the only route has to be remaking the old titles that were already great to begin with and just improve on the quality of life things, improve on the graphical fidelity, and it's gonna sell like hotcakes, right? Like everyone's gonna go and jump on that as long as you improve the things that we want to be improved, similar to what you said with Metal Gear Solid 1 into Twin Snakes, similar to Resident Evil 4 and the way they remade that. They have the tools, they just need to actually improve on them.
I'm going to address an elephant in the room now. This is a pretty big one. How do we address voice acting? Voice acting, I've noticed for remakes, are a little tough to hit because I feel like majority of the time they don't get the original voice actors that played the characters from before, right? I look at Final Fantasy Reunion Remake, I get Final Fantasy Remake. All of these who played the roles before are not reprising their roles, and they're trying to find the person who can closely best fit those bills. Are we going to get a replacement David, or they're going to still use his voice somehow in the game? Because I don't know if that would work, because they tried it with Final Fantasy Reunion, and you could tell the dialogue was dated.
Shut up!
All that awaits you
I'm
is a
warning you!
somber morrow.
You could just tell they didn't change any of the lines. It was just straight lines from before, different voice actor, and it did not work in this day and age. So are they gonna pick different voice actors for this project? What I can see happening, if David is not reprising that role, which is fine, if they get Kiefer Sutherland to reprise that role as Snake,
Okay.
I'd be okay with that, because technically that's Big Boss. Like, Big Boss should not sound exactly the same as Solid Snake. Like, if they're both on screen, they don't sound the same. They're not the same. They don't have the same voice.
I just don't want them to have a completely different voice actor, right?
Yeah.
If they kept with Sutherland, right, I would be okay. I would be like, all right. I would be a little disappointed in the beginning, like for like maybe 10 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, I get everything you just said. I get it. It makes sense, right? We already had the voice actor change multiple times for Big Boss, right? And so having him reprise his role from Metal Gear Solid 5 and then kind of bringing it back to Metal Gear Solid 3, it's like, okay, you are paying attention, Konami. Like, you are it makes sense what you're doing. And so I agree with you. That's a good take.
It's a good compromise.
It's a good compromise. Would I want David Hayter? Sure, but I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? I get it.
You need to nail these voice actors, because that's how you get the stories through these characters, right? So
The reports of Sony Interactive Entertainment striking a deal with Konami with the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, also Silent Hill, which we already know about, right? And then there's new word about Castlevania games exclusively on PS5 now. Do you think that just kind of bolsters this rumor more, or like, what do you think about this rumor right now that we're talking about, and do you think it's gonna be at the PlayStation Showcase this month?
yeah, I mean, it would be weird for PlayStation not to get these titles, these IPs, just because they feel realistically their home is PlayStation. That is their home. I know Konami is an outside publisher, but really this is where they belong. Castlevania, Silent Hill, Metal Gear, PlayStation is home to them. They will always be these PlayStation exclusives. In my opinion, I know they came out for consoles later. To me, I think that it is right for them to be in Sony's hands.